This is Mr. Wells here with our instructions for the Land and Sea Breezes lab. For initial setup, we're going to need a heat shield, light bulb socket with a light bulb, 2 of these aluminum small metal pans. You're going to need a thermal imaging camera, so one of our FLIR One cameras. You can use the old one or our fancy new one. Either one of these are going to work, so just pick one of them, and they'll both work the same way when it comes to the procedure. And then we need a pole, metal pole, and a ring stand set up. Okay, so with these 2 metal pans that you took out, I want you to fill one of these up with water, and we're going to fill the other one up with sand. So what you want to do, you want to fill it up about halfway with water for one of them, and halfway with sand for the others. So sand should be found in the front of the room, and then for the water you can just use regular water right out of the faucet. Okay, so I got my sand and my water now. Now I filled mine up about halfway full, so that's probably a good frame of reference. I would probably fill them up about halfway full, but as long as they're consistent, as long as both levels are roughly the same, that shouldn't really affect the procedure at all. So I've got this all plugged in now. I need to make sure that I'm about 30 centimeters from the base of the heat shield down to the table. So I was already at 30 centimeters from the base of the heat shield down to the table. Make sure that you adjust it up or down though if you have to. And then I'm going to plug in the light bulb. I'll move the water and the sand So the goal is that you want the water and the sand to be right down the middle of those 2 pans, to be right down center of the heat shield. So I'm going to make sure that I have these aligned right down the center of the light bulb. If you have it too much on one side or the other, you're probably going to end up having to redo the experiment. So make sure that these are right down the middle. Now that I got my initial setup all good to go, I'm going to start the procedure. So hook up a thermal camera to your iPad. Make sure that it's working fine. So I've already got FLIR One up and running. And so what you're going to do initially is aim right down the middle. Make sure you hit calibrate. And then I'm going to take a picture. So your picture should look something like this. Remember that when you're taking your data, you can hit the pencil button up here and you can move your data around. So this is how you're going to get your temperature when it comes to writing your data in your lab report for both the water and the sand. So I've got my 2 trials all centered. I've got my light bulb set up. I already took my initial picture with the FLIR One camera of the water and the sand before I did anything to it. So for this very first trial, I'm going to turn the light on. And the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to run the light for 10 minutes. During that 10 minutes, you're going to take 2 pictures. So you're going to take a picture at 5 minutes and you're going to take a picture at 10 minutes. And then we're going to turn the light off after 10 minutes and take 2 more pictures, one at 15 minutes and one at 20 minutes. So this is a 20-minute trial, and at the end we're going to have 5 pictures, 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20 minutes. And so that's how the procedure is going to work. So we have the light on. I have a timer set for 5 minutes from now. So 5 minutes from now I'm going to come back and take a picture with the FLIR camera. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. I'm going to take my next picture. So again, you leave the light on for 10 total minutes. So as soon as you take this picture, set a timer for another 5 minutes to complete the 10 minutes. But right now at 5 minutes, we're going to take the picture. So this is my second picture. Make sure that you aim right down the middle of the 2 pans. You'll hit the calibrate button. and then take your picture. So again, leave this on for 5 more minutes with the light on. It's been another 5 minutes. I've still got my light bulb on, and I'm going to take my next picture. So this is 10 minutes into the experiment. Aim down the middle, make sure you calibrate, and I'll take a picture. So now what you want to do is turn the light bulb off. It wouldn't hurt to just move the light shield completely out of view like that. And so now we're going to let it cool off. So we need 2 more pictures. So one 5 minutes from now, and then one 5 minutes after that. So 15 total minutes in and 20 total minutes in. We're going to take a picture. So I'll be back in another 5 minutes and we'll take our first picture with the light bulb off. Okay, so we're 15 minutes in. This is the first picture we're going to take with the light off. So I'm going to take another picture here. Calibrate. And take that one. So then we're going to come back in 5 more minutes to take our last picture. So 20 minutes in, our last picture. That'll be 10 minutes with the light off, 20 minutes total. All right, final picture time. So I'm going to come in and take my last picture here. So again, don't forget to calibrate. And take my final picture. So in the end, you should have 5 total pictures, one at 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20 minutes. And when you get all of that, you can start taking your stuff down, because as far as the procedure is concerned, we're all done. In a little bit, I'll talk about how to fill in the graph and answer a couple questions through the worksheet. I should just mention that the sand, you're actually just going to dump right down into the box here. With the water pan, just do me a favor and wipe down the pan with a paper towel before you put it back.
So again, remember when you're looking at your data, you can click on this button on the top right. It kind of looks like a little pencil. When you're taking your data, make sure that you're equally far away from the middle of the 2 pans here. So I might take a recording of 26.0 for this one and 24.5 for this one. So I'll show you real quick how to make the graph for this data set, because I do want you to graph this in graphical analysis. So go New Experiment, Manual Entry. We do need to create a third column because we're going to have time on the x-axis, we're going to have the sand temperature on this y, and then we need to create one more y column. So I'll click on the triple set of dots here and hit Add Manual Column. This is going to create your right-hand column. So I'll go water temp. Units are always degrees Celsius for temperature. And then click on this Y, triple set of dots. This time go column options. Say sand temperature, degrees Celsius. And for the far left, we'll go column options again. And this one is our time. And the units are minutes. I'm going to full view the table here. And then we'll create our data plot. So this is how my final data plot turned out. Go back up to here, click on one graph. So my second line is hiding right now. If you click on the y-axis, you can check that off. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom left here and go to graph options. And you're going to choose for the appearance both points and lines. And that's our final data set. So, I mean, your numbers are obviously going to look a little different, but hopefully the graph turned out pretty similar to this. I'm going to take a screenshot. And I'll put that in my final lab write-up. Make sure you make a little key on the side of that data table telling me which one was the sand and which one was the water. As far as the procedure and data collection, that should be it for this lab. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions when you're answering the lab write-up. Otherwise, this was our Land and Sea Breezes lab instruction video. Thanks for watching.